Lucia, the alpha of radio.
Harddrive brought to you with the compliments of Rambali's Funeral Parlor.
At Rambali's Funeral Parlor, we strive to bring you and your family the highest level of comfort, absolute satisfaction, and peace of mind during your most sorrowful time of need.
Our professional standards and quality services are second to none. We offer ground burials, burials at sea, cremations, and embalming, fine locally made coffins, internationally made caskets, 24-hour emergency, shipping and receiving the deceased to and from overseas.
Ram Valley's signature funeral package includes a casket or coffin collection, refrigeration and preparation of the body, hearse services, 100 funeral leaflets, 12 memorial buttons, 6 keyrings, 10 corsages, and 1 framed photo.
Ram Valley's Funeral Parlor, Calvary Road, Castries, and Lartuni, Beaufort. For more information, please call 758-452-2021 or 758-454-9239.
Hello there, good morning, good afternoon, good night to our listeners and to our viewers in St. Lucia and across the globe. Those of you listening to us online, also on Facebook, you're viewing us on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, on X Live, and also on DBS Television Live. Welcome everyone to Harddrive for today, Thursday, the 26th of March. My name is Andre Paul, the host of the show, none other than the lovely Lady J. Lady J, good morning to you.
Morning, Andre. How are you doing?
I'm well.
Okay, nice.
Yes, I see you looking nice and bright today.
Yeah. Why? Yesterday I was dark?
Well,
Felt it?
Yeah, the color wasn't, as bright as today. So, so I can't help but notice today, yellow and white. Very good.
Yeah, nice. Didn't choose the color, just happened to wear it. Yeah, yeah. And these are nice colors anyway.
Of course, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I just take care of some house chores before we move on?
Let's get to eat.
Already, yeah definitely. I like that. Let's get to eat. Okay, today the menu at the Tomaso Bread Place is chicken pilau. Okay, that's what is happening at the Tomaso Bread Place today. Chicken pilau. I know a lot of people like pilau. It's chicken. Let me ask you: do they do pilau with any other thing but chicken? I wonder.
No, I have not seen
Usually
it.
chicken.
Yeah. I've not seen it if anything else. I guess you'd have to give it a different name.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so. I think the Americans call it soul food. Yeah, rice and peas.
Well, anything of green fig, saltfish, anything like that, they tend to call it that sort of food.
Soul food. Okay, so chicken pilau, you can check it out today at the Tomaso Bread Place. Now, when you get there, you can also try the wide variety of CMOS beverages, which include the all-new blueberry flavor. There's also coconut, there's ginger, peanut and peanut punch, and regular flaxseed and chia seed CMOS with milk or without milk. Okay, so that's all happening at the Tomaso Bread Place today. Now, while I'm at it, because next week, folks, is going to be Good Friday. Going into Easter Sunday.
Next week, Friday.
Yes. All right. So let me just do that for the folks in the Baytown community in Texas. Remember, it's the Good Friday Lucian breakfast, and the menu is roast and fried bakes, mahi-mahi, saltfish, smoked herring, salad, tomatoes, lettuce, and cucumber salad. There's akra as well. Yes, boy, akra. One of my favorites, as a little boy, when we went to Aso Square. That was a must-have.
Yeah. I spoke to the person. No, they don't open. They won't be open, but we're looking into the akras for you. So I'm looking into that, Andre.
So they won't be open on the Good Friday?
No.
Yeah, because what's the point? Because nobody's going to go get it anyway. That's why they're not opening. But if they knew they're going to be a crowd there, of course they have their thing. But
because everybody wants to drink, and you have to be close if it's alcohol. So I guess the
alcohol
others on Good Friday, all beverages basically you have to close too. You can't drink alcohol.
But
I know, but I'm saying these shops are closed on that day for sure. So probably that's why all other places will follow up. And of course, that's how we grew up. It's supposed to be closed on Good Friday.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to imagine if you set up your little thing someplace on the side of the road and you're selling the akras and so on. I'm just saying I see nothing wrong with that.
Okay, Andre, somebody like you can start it and maybe somebody else will follow. But the people, I like the fact that they respect it and nobody's doing it for that reason. Yeah.
They're not doing it.
So is Tomaso going to be closed as well?
I imagine, yes.
So we need to ask that?
Yes, so I'm saying as long as the thing is not hurting anybody, I see nothing wrong in having a Lucian Good Friday breakfast like that, including the Accra, as I was saying, the cocoa tea and so on.
Noise as well, maybe all of that.
So,
you never know.
So people don't quarrel at the house on Good Friday?
No, Andre. I haven't heard this. I haven't heard loudness on that day, but I will check next week. Definitely.
It's just a regular day.
As a child, what I saw was we had to go to church and this and that and the other.
It's just a regular day. Everything happens. Everything bad happens on that day. There's nothing, yes, it's true for the most part. People try to be,
Why you go negative? Everything bad happens on that day.
And it was anything bad that happens during the ordinary day.
Whether it's good or bad.
I'm saying to you, you're not talking as though Good Friday is some kind of special thing where nothing bad happens. I'm saying to you, it happens on that day as well. That's the point I'm making.
Yes.
So what's wrong in is somebody selling Accra and so on? Nothing wrong with that. That's not harming anybody.
But let's see if somebody is daring enough to do it, Andre. We'll see, because you've been talking about it. Because they haven't done it, as far as we know, over the years. I think only once I saw that.
Yeah, because...
And it wasn't like she was in the open,
Yeah, because under the law, well, I should say the rules for the day, you're not supposed to be doing that kind of thing. When I say what I'm saying, I'm not saying that to people to defy the rules and so on, I'm saying that to the authorities, those that in authority to free up the thing. Stop being so closeted, right? These things that you see we're doing, we're taking these things to extreme, way extreme. So anyway, all right, so I was saying, so there's also cocoa tea and lime squash. Okay, this is taking place on the 3rd of April. That's the Good Friday from 8 a.m. in the Baytown community. So the Lucian community in Baytown, go check it out, man. Have yourself a great time, okay? I wish I could fly over.
Yeah, don't you that said you're not?
I wish I could fly over and then come back home. Yeah, just joking. All right. Good morning to Silton for her rub. I was hoping yesterday she'd give us a little update, but she didn't.
This morning.
She didn't. So maybe today she might give us a little update as to how things worked out for her when she was doing her sales. And I keep repeating that this is something, and I think Ras Iper was making the point there this morning about, cradle to grave, where people, if, for example, when you're born, you don't have to be paying for hospital bills. When you're sick, right, that you're okay, you're fine, you don't have to be stressing yourself out like what Silton is doing, and Silton and so many others. And especially see the females. The females are the ones there by Massey with a little sheet in their hand, or you have the children, asking for money so that they can undergo surgery, or you have the other one where they must have a fundraising dance, a country in Western. And I've seen the people already. I've seen them. People who actually, the ones that they're raising the funds for, they're sick. And you see the people, they're working hard. They're frying stuff and baking stuff and doing all kinds of things. These are things I've seen for myself already. So I'm saying that should not be. When you're under that kind of stress already, you are not well. You shouldn't have to be stressing yourself out again. So I'm just saying that in the case of Silton and so many others, that should not be. So I'm saying this to the authorities. We should be aiming for the day where this thing is a thing of the past. A thing of the past. Now, folks, there's some people who will not understand what I'm saying because maybe they don't, that they're okay, that they're all right. You know what I mean? They have insurance, things like that. I'm talking about the vast majority of people who cannot afford. I'm saying that should not be the case, especially where illness is concerned. Instead of you stressing yourself out, you should be able to go to know where exactly where you're supposed to be going, put your case forward, and then you are safe. So I think when Iper called, he was talking about that cradle to the grave. I know it sounds impossible, but it is not impossible. It is very possible, as a matter of fact. What is it? Where there's a will, there's a way. When there's a will, there's a way. All right.
Maybe it won't happen in our time, but maybe eventually.
Right. Exactly.
Keep agitating.
Yes. I only hope you have people who are going to take that baton and carry on.
That's right.
Carry on.
Yeah.
Yes. We unfortunately we don't have
you
money
have
like
to
that.
keep agitating, Andre. We have to keep
right.
agitating.
I'm glad you said we. Yeah. We have to keep agitating. That's the only way, because listen, the policymakers, they listen to what the people are saying, Don't worry them there. They listen to what we are saying. And if you just have one voice, They don't bother with that. But if you see you have a chorus,
Collectively,
you have people calling out and making noise about those things. But our little St. Lucia, most people are afraid to express themselves. And you see it in the talk shows, for example. Most of the talk shows in St. Lucia, you have one set of people who are calling these shows all of the time. Right? One set. That's how it is. Just a few people that call these shows, the talk shows, and there's some who choose the talk shows that they wish to call. There are those who will call a particular other type of talk show and wouldn't call what's on your mind and sort of thing. It's what they feel comfortable with. But generally in St. Lucia, generally we don't like to go against the grain in St. Lucia. We like to go where everybody else is going. That's the way we are. Look, the thing about the reparations that came up there this morning in the news, and hopefully we'll get to that a little later, right? How many people you had making noise about reparations? It was the Rastafarian community. They're the ones making noise about reparations and making noise about so many other things. And guess what? People are not taking them on, right? But little by little, more and more, right? You remember how people used to look at some braids long time ago? Having locks and sort of thing. All right? Right now, that's a style. That's a style for a lot of people. And the way they would come down, the system would come down on the Rastafarians for that. But they never gave up. They never gave up. They never gave in. And we have to say bravo to them for that. They're the ones, the principal ones, making noise about reparations. And when I say noise, that's good noise. Good noise. Now, you and I maybe we're not on that level. We don't understand what the reparations mean. What's the history behind the reparations, right? So to us, it's no big deal. All we know that if there's payment going to be made, we're the first to flock right there on the line to get our payment. That's the way we are. That's the way we are, unfortunately. But anyway, so let's hope, we have other people who are going to take that baton and, move into the future. As you said, you're right, maybe not in our time. Okay, now, I got to say good morning to a very special friend of mine. I mentioned that all week, Vanetta Shalman. She's celebrating her birthday today.
It's today.
So Vanetta is celebrating her birthday today. Happy birthday, Vanetta. Have yourself a great, great, great time on your special day today. My brother-in-law, Jonathan, he's celebrating his birthday this coming Saturday.
All right.
Yeah, that's my brother-in-law.
So you have to say tomorrow again.
Definitely.
And Monday.
Yes, and there's another friend of mine called Vicky. Vicky is also celebrating a birthday this coming Saturday. So Vicky, you see, I didn't forget her. And of course, next week, my darling little daughter, Nairobi, she's going to be celebrating her birthday, as well as an ex-girlfriend of mine called Joan. She's also celebrating on the same day that Nairobi is celebrating.
That's two people I heard names call out there in what you said.
Say again, that's what?
I'm not repeating what I said. You know exactly what I said, Andre.
Yes.
Exactly what I said.
Yeah. So happy birthday in advance to all of you. And of course, happy birthday today to Vanetta. All right? I hope she has a great time today.
Yeah. Have an enjoyable day. I wonder if she went to work today or if she's taking it as
I know, she's probably at work.
Really? Okay.
So, anything you want to mention, Lady J?
No. Just to say that it was really nice of Geraldine Mitchell to call yesterday to talk to us about the autism, Andre, because like we say, World Autism Day is on the 2nd of April. And in St. Lucia, I don't know for other countries, but I've heard that St. Lucia will be celebrating the entire month. And today I will tap into some of the information that you sent from Hall.
Is that Hall?
Yes. But because I had information already for yesterday, I used that. Yes.
Wonderful. As I keep sending the information, all right? We certainly do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's get into some other matters. Lady J, let's say good morning to the folks watching us on DBS, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time to view us on DBS television. Okay, yesterday afternoon, and remember, I think I sent you a message yesterday, Lady J.
Saw it late.
In fact, I actually called my friend Anthony. I was driving, I was heading to the city, and I was wondering, why is the traffic so heavy at this time of the day? Right? But guess what happened? The police had actually cordoned off a section of the Chaussee Road. That's the section there from corner of Miku Street and the Chaussee, going into Leslie Land and going all the way down there, heading close to the Marsha entrance. So they cordoned off the entire area. I saw a yellow tape. For time I see that, I say, oh, somebody got shot or something like that. That's what I said to myself.
Really?
Yeah, because it was kind of similar to what happened. Remember the time in the Clary?
Oh, I see.
When the guys had robbed the
supermarket,
the mini mart and so on. Same thing. See, they cordoned off the area. So I said, something is going on. So I called Anthony right away. I said, Anthony, did you hear anything untoward happening on the show, say, today? He told me,
Right.
no, he hadn't heard anything yet, but he's going to check. And, he has his sources. So he called me back immediately and he said, yes, apparently there was an incident. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
So-
passing there, Andre, and I thought maybe they were painting the road or
Something
whatever.
like that.
Yeah, because, it was quiet. I think there were probably 2 police at the very end that I could see. But you remember, for this, I didn't realize until I got closer because of the traffic, I was thinking it was because of the petrol station. Because sometimes that happens. It slows you down. Who's
yes.
going there?
Right.
And when I got closer and to get onto Meekwood Street, that's when I realized something is happening. And then, of course, much later, I read your message and saw that. Yeah.
And the thing is, once you see you cordon off any of the streets in the city, you got gridlock. So yesterday it was really frustrating
Chaotic,
again.
yeah.
Chaotic.
Especially when you don't know what's happening.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You're not sure.
Yeah.
But I imagine I got home like a few minutes to 3. Yeah, and I left my house. Left my house. I left here probably after 1, somewhere around there.
Yeah, it was long after the
Because it
news.
just takes you so much time. It takes you so much time because of the fact that you can, only certain streets can be used and so on. You have to. Boy. Well, again, people's selfishness, people who on their vibe, have their bad intentions. They stay where they stay to make plans and so on. You're trying to tell me, right? You have nothing better to do with your life, Missy, than to go after a barber shop.
Is that what happened yesterday?
Yeah. What do you think you're going to get there like that? Yes, it's true. I mean, the barbers do make a little something at the end of the day. We're not going to dispute that. But I mean, of all places, and the thing about barbershops tend to be busy. Right? Meaning
At certain
you
times,
have quite a few people who go in there to get their hair cut and other things that barbers, these days now, barbers now have ladies who
Yeah, they're adding that on.
doing
So
nails,
you sell another chair.
nails and all kinds of things. They do all, kind of
Extras.
fancy and stuff, right? People do their hair and so on, right? So it's not just a question of customers coming to the barbers. You have customers coming to other people who have other skills inside there. So apparently, when these, I don't know how many, I think maybe 1 or 2, well, at least maybe, I think no less than 2. They went inside there with the intention of robbing the proprietor. I imagine maybe, who else? Well, if you get inside there, Lady J, and you're trying to rob the place, I imagine you probably go after the customers as well, no?
Generally, that's what we see. Even when I'm watching the videos of, well, I've not seen one for here, but I've seen it out of St. Lucia, and they're, even on the trains, they're taking from customers, clients as well. True.
Yeah, because if you're going inside there, you have to be really, really sure what you're doing, because if you have customers in there and your back is turned while you're trying to ask the proprietor to pass it or whatever, you may be, one of the customers may just rush you or something. So
Yeah, that happens too, because you never know when an off-duty cop is sitting there to get his hair done.
as a matter of fact,
Crazy.
according to the story, there was an off-duty police officer in the area at that time.
Good for
Yes,
him or them.
He got a lot of bravos. One of the eyewitnesses was speaking in the news and saying, "Bravo to this officer," because he responded immediately. Now, there are a few things that we need to talk about this particular incident. First of all, let's listen to the eyewitness to the shooting, and he says a few important things. Okay, so let's listen.
Apparently the guy, the Rasta, is a barber in a barber shop, and these guys came and robbed him. And he pursued the guys, he himself having a firearm, running behind them. As he swung in the yard there, that's what area again, Leslieland, Waterworks Road. There was an exchange where the Ras got shot in his leg apparently. So the Ras fell, but in the exchange of shots, an innocent bypasser got shot as well. There was a guy on the road with a mentally challenged child who had to try to struggle to get the child out of the way because the guys was firing shots all between the people.
Okay, you heard those details. All right. So let me just give my little take, and maybe let me hear what you have to say about it. That's why I'm always saying, if that happens to me, and I want to repeat, I will do all I can in my power to limit your chances of getting at me. I'm not saying it's impossible, because anything is possible. Well, sorry, most things are possible in this world. But I will try my best to protect myself and do things in such a way that I'm going to make it difficult for you to come and find me as easy prey. Okay, so I'm saying that's what I will do. However, if the person is able to overcome me, maybe take me, surprise me, or whatever, I'm not going to argue with you. The most I'll probably do is to tell you I have children and to give me a little break. Okay? Meaning, don't take my life. That's all I'm going to say to you. You ask me for whatever you want to ask me, I'm going to give it to you. Maybe I may tell you, brother man, just, give me my ID card. Right? Right? And that's as far as I will go. But for me to take it upon my own, to tackle you, look at that. The gentleman, and I'm sure he meant well. The proprietor was probably so angry, and rightly so. I understand exactly. I think I understand how he feels. But who are you to come to my establishment? I'm a hard-working man. And to come and mess around and to just get life like, no problem, easy pickings. So I'm going to fight you. I'm sure that's how he was thinking. But look at that. The series of events now that happened as a result. He got shot. Okay. While I think he, from what he said, he probably injured the one of the robbers, or one of the
all of them,
or the would-be robbers. And then he also said the passerby. The eyewitness said that there was somebody walking around, I think, with a
child,
what do you say? Like a special needs child. A special needs child. Okay. Just look at what that could have been a lot worse. The barber could have actually lost his life in that encounter. Okay. And what if something had gone? Suppose the person trying to defend themselves now fires shots just indiscriminately, and then you have innocent people, as I said, passers-by who know nothing about what's going on. They could have been seriously injured or even killed as a result of that. So I'm just saying, yes, it's true, you may be a licensed firearm holder, but think about all the possibilities before you really take action, because you don't know, you can't control every aspect of what's going on there. And the same thing applies to the would-be robbers. You cannot control what's going on. You do not know what's next. I've read stories already where fellas go after a particular van, maybe a bread van or whatever, a goods van, and they end up losing their lives. They didn't plan for that. You don't know how things are going to pan out. So the same applies for the would-be robbers, and the same applies for those who are the victims as well. So that is just my little take on that. Lady J, what do you think? Maybe you think differently.
I'm confused about everything, because Andre, I mean, it's mindset. It's how you feel at the moment. So I can't blame the proprietor of the business. I really can't. I can't say he's wrong. No, right. No, hold on.
No. Sorry. No. I have to stop you. I didn't blame you for anything.
No, I am speaking.
No, you said you can't blame him.
I can't blame him.
Okay. Okay.
Did I say you?
Yeah, you said you.
Yeah, I said I.
Okay, you. Yeah, well, go ahead.
Andre, you're not hearing me this morning?
Go ahead. Yeah, you can't blame him.
Andre.
Yes, I'm Lady J. Go ahead.
I said I can't blame him
right.
for running out, grabbing his gun, or did he have his gun on him? Because at that moment, you were just so upset with this would-be robber. What are you doing? That's how you feel, right? So I don't know deep down inside what this proprietor was feeling, but I do know I can't blame him for whatever he did. I sympathize with whoever got in the crossfire. That is sad, Andre. Very, very sad. But I'm happy at the end that the perpetrators got a taste of the heat.
Yeah, but the thing is, Lady J, the proprietor got hit.
I understand that.
What if you were walking there?
That's something for him to think about.
What if you were walking there with your little grand?
I agree, all of what you said. But Andre, when it comes to him, I can't say anything for him, because I don't know how he was feeling at that moment.
I'm telling you,
the blood was rising in the man's body.
I think we all can empathize and understand exactly. And I said so. He's upset. He's angry. But I'm saying, despite the fact that you may feel that way, realize that if you take matters into your own hands there, you do not know the outcome.
Okay, so that's what is going to happen the next time. Because he experienced it, he learned it. This may have been his first time, this may have been the 10th time. Andre, we haven't heard if this was the very first time that they went in and robbed. It may have been the 10th time. It may have been the 20th, and that's why he decided, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm taking my gun. I'm going after him. I'm going after them. We don't know, Andre, until we hear that, right? And that would be something that the reporters should make sure that they have at the end of the story or some part of the story. How many times has this barbershop, you said it is, been robbed? How many times?
But does that matter, Lady J? The point I'm making to you,
because I may have done the same thing.
Well, good. So I'm saying to you, just think of it. If you had been walking there with your little grand,
and I get that too, and that's sad, and I would hope that would not have happened.
Would you have said?
That's a road
would you have said the same thing you're saying right now? You understand how he feels?
I probably would have felt that way, but because I'm hurt, I would blame him for going after the individual. But I probably, hindsight, thinking, well, if it was me, because Andre, you have to sometimes put yourself in the person's place. If it was your establishment, would you just sit back and let him get out of the establishment?
But I told you what I would do already. I already told you. I said to you, number one, I would ensure, and I'm not saying this because of the proprietor at all. I'm saying I would ensure I go as far as I can to make life difficult for you to come and rob me.
Yes.
Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing, because I'm not perfect, if perchance you're able to bypass my security arrangements that are there and you come, right, and you approach me and whatever it is you said to me, I said at that point there, I'm not going to argue with you. That's the point I'm saying.
I heard you, Andre.
Right.
I heard all of that. But remember, we are looking at, was this the first time, 10th time,
that's
or 20th time?
That's what you're looking at.
I'm looking at that too.
Right. So I'm saying if you're going to say that.
We're also looking at the fact, Andre, we have to take that into consideration. Okay? People can always say, I would, I could, I should, until it happens to them. At that very moment, you do not know the temperament of your own self. You don't know, Andre. You don't know. Because I can say sometimes I go to the supermarket and somebody steps in front of me and I'm pretty cool about it. Okay, that's okay. Another day I go in there and somebody steps in front of me and roof coming down. I don't know, Andre. I don't know. So I can't say how he was feeling at this very moment.
I didn't ask you to say how he was feeling.
No, but you asked me how I felt about the situation. So, I'm talking about this part as well, because mindset is important for things like that.
But don't
how
you think,
feel at that moment?
Don't you think, Lady J, that despite the fact, and I understand what you're saying, that you don't know how you're going to react until it actually happens to you,
Yeah.
don't you think that it is better for us to sort of plan those things in our minds a long time ago? Right? That if I find myself in a particular situation, not just necessarily that situation, it could be anything else. It could be anything as to how I would respond. For example, if you see your husband in bed with a lady, right? Do you know how you're going to respond right now? Have you planned something like that?
Lots of thoughts come to my mind, Andre. But will I do it that day? It depends on how I feel that moment. That moment I might feel like stabbing both of them. That moment I might feel like, gotcha, walk out.
Okay, all right.
I don't know.
All right, so let me put it another way.
Thank you.
Let me put it another way. Okay, so you are incarcerated. It's just a hypothetical situation, but to make a point. You are incarcerated. And while you're incarcerated in a country where what you did maybe is drugs. Okay, you're going to stay there for life. But remember, you have your husband, you have your little grand, you have your daughter, and you're longing to be with them. And the jailer, now there's no hope for you to get out of there because of what you did. But the jailer says to you, well, listen, I have a little plan. If you go to bed with me, I'm going to organize things where I'm going to turn my back and I'm going to make it possible for you to escape. Now, what would you do?
Andre, mindset again. Am I thinking when I escape and they catch me again, how long am I going to be in there? Andre, no, you asked me the question, let me answer it how I want. I want to answer it how I want. I want to start there first.
That's what I'm asking you.
Mindset. I'm thinking. Mindset. Remember, it's not happening because you're giving me an opportunity to think. So let me think. Remember that.
Okay, go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
Then, is he good looking? Is the man good looking? He wants me to sleep with him. Is he good looking?
No, he's not good looking.
Andre, come on. I don't know.
You don't know what?
No, he's not good looking, and I'm supposed to sleep with him just because I want to.
Remember, you're going to be there for life.
Yes, Andre, but consequences, that's my fault.
Hold on.
I caused that to happen to me.
You're going to be there for life. You have your husband, you have the little one day waiting for you, and your daughter waiting for you.
Yes,
and a guy says to you, I'm going to make it possible for you to escape. Because if he doesn't do that, you're there for life. So I'm asking...
I caused it to happen to me.
What would you do?
Andre, I caused it to happen to me. That's why I'm ending up in jail.
So you're saying...
If I carried it. I killed, whatever.
You're saying then that you would not take the opportunity.
I have to think about that, Andre, because you see the story you give me there, sex. I ain't giving... Sex, Andre? Why sex? No, not anybody going to...
No, you were saying
Andre,
that
if you want me to think about sex, the answer is I doubt.
You were saying that you do not know how you're going to respond in this particular situation.
Yeah, because you bring up the scenario dealing with sex.
So then you're supposed to say right now you do not know how you're going to respond. How could you talk about now how you say if it's sex, then that's what you'll do?
But I said so for the guy.
If you're saying that you do not know how you're going to respond, that's what you said.
Yeah.
In that situation, you're supposed to say, I don't know how I'll respond.
But I said that for the
you did?
story. Andre.
Okay.
Andre.
Okay.
Any listener would tell you, mindset, I do not know how the man would have responded. I do not know how the proprietor would respond. I said so.
No, I'm not talking. I've moved on from that already. I moved on. I'm talking. I gave you a scenario to make a point. Because you're saying, right, you do not know how you will respond if you're in that particular situation. So I gave you a scenario.
Yeah.
So if you're in that scenario, you're supposed to say, I do not know how I'm going to respond.
I've said so all the time. At that point, you don't know until it happens.
You didn't say that.
Oh, Andre, I'm leaving you alone.
All right, no problem.
I'm leaving
but
you alone.
I get you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Andre, we say that all the time. We don't know how we're going to respond until it happens.
I'll tell you.
You might be so afraid, the kind of person you are, you might be so afraid. All the things you say that I would ask him for my ID and all of those things, Andre, you would be tight-lipped.
How you know that?
Because
you just say
we don't know.
You just say
I'm going back with we don't know.
So how could you say how I'll respond?
I said because you don't know if you would be able to say what you just said, Andre. You just said you would.
Of course.
Okay, Andre.
Of course, I'm going to say that.
I ain't going to say that because I don't know how I will
I'm going to say to this person, listen, I partner, I have a child. Okay, please, don't take my life. I have a child.
Some people say that and they still get shot.
I don't say no, but I'm telling you that's what I would say. I would be bold enough to say something like that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, partner. Don't take my life. I have a child.
Well, we say that's that and we still... The rapists who tell you the girls are not begging, please,
don't say that.
And they still get shot, they still get badly raped, etc.
I agree, but I will ask. Okay? And I know for sure I'm going to ask.
Well, let's just hope that nothing happens and we are safe, Andre. I'd like to end and say we are safe. Want to be safe. Safe. We walk, we drive, we get out of our vehicles, we walk in the city. We just want to feel safe. We would just want to be safe, right? So mindset again, please. If you're getting robbed, think twice. Just think twice.
Yeah.
Think twice.
Well, yes, you're right. Think twice. Okay? I'm telling you, I am messing around anybody who have any gun. I don't mess around that kind of thing because you can lose your life in an instant. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, folks. It's not worth it.
Gun.
So those who want to be,
Supermen,
superwomen, tackle those people. You go right ahead. Go right ahead. I'm just telling you what I would do. Okay, so
good luck, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. There's a little Roro taking place there. I think involving. Well, you may know more about that than me. No, you're not from Groseley. Sorry. I think it's called Marie Fish Shack. You ever heard of that place?
No.
Marie Fish Shack. I've never heard of it. Apparently, this place is located in Redway Beach, and apparently. The person has been operating there for 5 decades, and they asked them to relocate. And Dr. Hiller, the Minister for Tourism, he weighed in on this issue, and he was talking about the fact that particular establishment doesn't have a restroom and this sort of thing, running water, that sort of thing. So that's what he was saying, and he said that cannot continue. Now, if what he's saying there is correct, I agree with him. You cannot have a restaurant, you don't have a restroom, you don't have
period
water and so on to serve to your customers, right? But there was a swift response from the proprietor, and she's saying that what the minister is saying is not correct. Yeah, that she does have water there and a restroom and this sort of thing. So I do not know how the minister got that information. Yeah.
And so what's the back of this? What's the completion of that story?
I don't know. I guess it's kind of in limbo right now. They're waiting maybe for some final decision. But all I could say is that this is a person's business. They've been there for five decades. I think I read that, about 5 decades. I hope they can work it out. I hope they can arrive at some kind of compromise, and that the lady can continue, having her business, especially since she's been there for such a long time.
So let me say, what's the backstory before the lady came on? What's wrong with her? What was the story? Meaning, you say 5 decades. Are they saying that she's supposed to vacate the spot, or is it because, it's obviously sanitation is important. We must have, a sink. We must have possibly a toilet. So is that the reason? Because I don't know the story.
Yeah. I don't.
Yesterday I didn't listen to the news because I was busy with my mom.
I don't have all the details as to what they actually. Because I can only say what I read. I'm getting the impression as though they've probably asked her to move from the area.
So relocation.
I'm getting that impression.
Okay.
Because the story doesn't give all the details. Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty. So as I said, I hope they're able to resolve the matter.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so in Jamaica, the price of gasoline, butane, the cooking gas, boy, these things are going up by leaps and bounds in Jamaica. For example, the price of a gallon of gas has moved to another $4.25 Jamaica, right, to $167.88 per liter. And the other one, called the E1090, will go up by $4.25 to sell for $175.32. Now that's Jamaica dollars, but the price of things are just increasing, and we're not surprised, especially talking about that situation there in Iran. So it's really, really beginning to bite. Yeah. They spoke about diesel as well, going up by another $4.25. It's now $187.09. These are Jamaica dollars. So everything is going up, up.
That's $100 and something Jamaican. Wow, that could be. It could be as low as, I don't know, somebody could tell us, as low as 30 something EC or even 70 something EC on that dollar, I think.
Probably. But anyway, again, this as a result, what's happening in the Middle East. So, although our Prime Minister said, and I think in Antigua they're working on that as well, and I think in Dominica, I'll have a story on that tomorrow. The Dominica Prime Minister saying now they have to put measures in place now to cushion the effects.
Definitely.
Because this is definitely coming. It's coming our way. We're just able to kind of hold it back for now, but it's coming. It's coming, all right? Okay, so the U.S. President Donald Trump, and of course the kind of language that he's using, he said that they said he presented some plan to Iran to end the war. Now I heard the plan. There's certain things that they're asking Iran to do. Of course, stop the nuclear build-up. They also want them to stop helping Hamas, stop helping Hezbollah, stop helping the Houthis. They want them to stop that. They want them to stop building their arsenal of missiles. I think those missiles, the ones that actually propel by a rocket. There's a name for them. It's a rocket propelled thing. When that thing goes up in the air, that thing moves at lightning speed. And then when it explodes in little bomblets. Okay, so even if the interceptors do hit it, when it explodes now, even these can cause damage and so on. So they're making it really, really hard for the Iranians. Basically, and no guarantee that they'll not be attacked. Right? So there's no way the Iranians are going to accept that. That's for sure. They're not going to accept that. Neither will the Americans accept, or the Iranians are saying, well, I think they're asking for a whole bunch of stuff that you don't attack me, right, anymore. I don't think they're asking for the bases to be removed, the U.S. owned bases, but I think they're asking for compensation for the damage done to their country, for the lives taken, okay, And a lot of people are not talking about that, or at least not remembering to talk about it, that you had 160-something school children, girls, little girls were killed. I was watching YouTube last night, and they were showing you the actual footage of the children that were killed there. It is just so sad.
Yeah.
It's heart-wrenching, heartbreaking to see the little children just there at their school, because they normally have school on Saturdays in Iran. That's the way that they roll. So like a regular school day, and the children's backs are turned, and to see the way, I think maybe the parents over them grabbing whatever they can, salvage, little books, little thingies with drawings and so on. Really, really heart-wrenching. And what they said so far, that the investigation so far revealed that it's what they call a Tomahawk missile, right? And that's an American-made missile. There's no way Iran could have that.
No, did it?
Okay? So you're telling me, you go into the people's country, you bomb them, you kill those little children,
innocent children,
and you just like it's no big deal. That doesn't bother you in any way, folks. Those of you in St. Lucia and those of you listening overseas, that doesn't bother you in any way. That people could just come and kill children like that. It happened in Gaza. Let me remind you of that. It's the estimate so far, between 20 and 30,000 children. So we're talking about young boys and girls, and then you have the babies who were murdered in that war. And that doesn't bother you. You can just let it pass because these are Iranians and these are Gazans. But if you hear 100 and something Israeli children killed, 100 and something American children killed, we have a different response. But for that one, it's all right. It's all right. You could take their lives. So Iran is asking for compensation of $100 billion from both the U.S. and Israel. And there's no way they're going to give that to them. They will not give it to them. Because especially Israel, they have a reputation. They come, they bomb you, they move, and they don't make any kind of reparations. They don't pay for anything. They don't give a hoot. They don't care. So, folks listening and viewing,
it's just going to linger on and on, Andre.
That doesn't bother you all? To see little children being slaughtered like that? Anyway, so listen to the rhetoric now. Listen to the rhetoric. If you see you do not agree to end this war, I'm going to unleash hell. That's Donald Trump talking there, you know. I'm going to unleash hell. When he was talking about Gaza, and he was saying if Hamas doesn't give up their weapons and so on, he says all hell will break loose. Those are his words. And you know what he was talking about? The deliberate starving of the people there. That's what he was talking about. So I remember long ago, that kind of talk about unleashing hell and so on. That more came from terrorists. These are the ones using that kind of language. And now you have a leader of a country using that kind of rhetoric there. Okay? And head at they're saying that one thing, Donald Trump doesn't bluff, you know. That's his press secretary, Caroline Levitt. He said he doesn't bluff. Okay? He doesn't bluff. And he's prepared to unleash hell on the Iranians. So let's see what happens, Lady J. Now, you know what hell is for them? Dropping bombs, you know.
Yeah.
They don't care if they don't take you, the intended, well, I shouldn't say the intended target. They don't care if the Ayatollah doesn't die per se, or his men don't die. They're just going to drop bombs. All right? So that's the plan. Let's see what happens. And by the way, so far, 290 American service members have been wounded in this war, and 13 have been killed. Right? For a war that wasn't necessary.
Not at all.
All these people didn't have to die. All these people, 1,000 plus, at least that's the numbers that we have so far in Iran, they didn't have to die. The children, these little children, didn't have to die.
Well, let's keep blaming those Americans who voted for Trump.
And you know,
see
the
they've
polls
done the wrong thing.
You know, the polls are still showing he's still got 36% support. You know, I find it's very high. To me, that's high. 36% support what he's doing.
It's nice where it is. Keep it at the 30-something, because when it gets to 40 and 50, we know it's a situation. So it's going down, Andre. I still
find. I mean,
because he's got his people.
It's clear what's going on there. And here's a guy who looks at a camera with a straight face
Yeah.
and just lying bold face like that. He said the Iranians gave him a gift. A show off like this guy. He doesn't say what the gift is. He says a nice gift. It's an expensive gift, but he doesn't say what the gift is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he doesn't say what it is.
And in what context he said that?
I don't know. He's looking at the cameras and just coming with a story. Oh, they gave me a nice gift, a very expensive gift. Yeah, very nice gift, very expensive. You know, he likes to repeat himself.
Yeah.
Very nice gift, a very expensive gift. And a narcissist like me will not tell you what that expensive gift is.
Did you hear he say something like this? Well, how it went? When they bombed, he says all of them were lying down dead.
Yes.
All of them were lying
Yes.
down dead, and then he goes on to say, I can't get the right quotation, but he goes on to say, all of them were lying down dead on the ground, and then we saw them legs running. And Andre, how could you be dead and you're still running? A president thinking that way? I need to get that
Clip.
That clip. I need to get it.
I really don't get it. I do not understand how you try and tell me somebody like that. To me, your support should be zero. You mean to say America can't do better than that? That you want to cling to this man that seems to be taking you all to the ringer? Okay, not one member of Mrs. family has ever served in the U.S. Army. Not one.
True.
He himself has never served.
Just a few days ago, I told you I am not seeing many of his family members coming forward, Andre. Only his son-in-law. Watch it well.
Yeah, Kushner.
Who else? We are not seeing any of the others, unlike when he was there the last, the previous term.
Mm-hmm.
They were all in the front, everybody. You're not seeing it, Andre. So I'm sure they are in disagreement with what he's doing.
And he has this defense secretary, Hegseth. If you listen to the man's rhetoric, another one again, he's just there boasting, and they have no shame about it. He's just there boasting about how they're bombing and so on. Like it's something to feel proud of.
Yeah.
I never thought that I'd
like
ever
it's a
live to see
movie,
such-
Andre, because a movie,
I can't believe that.
it's just a movie. This is life. That's people's life.
You're just taking like
and
it's
livelihood.
no big deal.
Mhm.
Like it's no big deal. It doesn't
Crazy.
bother you. You just come and upend people's lives just like that. No apology. Up to now, not even sorry for the lives that they've taken there so far. I've never heard Donald Trump say, "I'm sorry." Have you ever heard him use those two words? "I'm sorry." Never. He doesn't apologize for anything.
I don't think I've heard him say that.
So he, Hegseth, then you have the Marco Rubio, that's another one again.
Yeah.
Another one again. And whoever else working for these people, like they've sold their soul. They sold their soul for Donald Trump. And they're defending to the hilt. They're defending to the hilt.
Yeah.
They lie, bold-faced. I'm saying, but people know, they know that people are lying. And they still want to believe what they're saying. I wish somebody could explain that to me, because I do not understand it.
Me neither, Andre.
We would
so
never.
I try not to even think about it.
We would never tolerate something like that from any prime minister in St. Lucia.
In St. Lucia, you mean in the Caribbean?
Well, yeah, exactly. We would
Andre,
never tolerate that. Never,
Not
not
at
in a million years.
Not at
We will
all.
not tolerate that from our leaders. And our leaders wouldn't even think of trying anything like that.
Not at all.
And the leader of the free world, that's what they say, the leader of the free world. We just had this morning on the program, one of our listeners called in, and he was talking about the United Nations General Assembly. They voted to recognize the enslavement of Africans during the transatlantic slave trade as the, quote, the gravest crime against humanity. The gravest crime against humanity. All right? And you know who voted against it? Right? Our former colonial masters. You have the United Kingdom, the European Union. Then, of course, you have the United States voting against it. Israel, of course, always votes with them, no matter what. And then you have now Argentina voting and saying, go back with that.
Andre, hold
They're
on.
asking
this
that
is
this be- yeah,
somebody
go ahead.
sent it because we just mentioned it. This is it there. Trump says all the people that all the people that died are walking around with no legs and no arms. Andre, if you're dead, how can you walk around? This man, how are you thinking?
I wonder what he meant by that. I really, really wonder. I understand what you're
Andre,
saying.
he's not thinking. Just like he say what he said about the kidneys and the heart, you remember when he said that?
No.
Somebody can get me that clip. That'd be nice. I mean, since when the kidneys and the heart or whatever? It's there. He said it. Said it at a conference.
So, by the way, it was 123 votes in favor, 3 against. United States, Israel, and Argentina. And they said 52 countries abstained, right? They're not voting, including the United Kingdom and the European Union member states. And what it was, that slavery, the slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade, is the gravest crime against humanity. That's what they're saying. So America voted against that. England voted against it. The European nations voted against it. Of course, Israel votes wherever America votes.
Yep.
Okay? And of course, you have this guy called Milei there in Argentina. I want to see how long is he going to last as the president of that country. I wonder if he's still popular. I really, really wonder. But he's a Trump supporter. Okay? So they're all following. I mean, something like that. And you know the history where the U.S. was concerned with the slave trade. And up to now, black people are still fighting up to now.
Identity.
And you're going against that resolution. To me, you support it. But the thing is that if they support it, the next step will be reparations. The people are going to ask for compensation, which they do not want to give because it's going to be massive.
And they have been asking.
It's going to be massive. You're talking about probably trillions of dollars. It is going to be massive as to what they will have to pay in reparations for what they did there. One of the things I told you that they did, all right, this is an old technique where you separate children from their parents, right? As young as 7 years old, was separated from their parents. And you know why they would do something like that? To break your spirit.
Yeah.
Just think of it, I tell you. Just think your little one, your little grand. We were talking about your daughter, Now your grand. And how vulnerable that little grand is, and how they're so dependent upon you, and they look to you, right, for comfort and protection and everything. And to see them grab that little child from you and take that child away. And by the way, that was repeated recently, yeah? When they separated the children from the parents who came through the border. Separated the children from the parents. Yes, folks, that was done by Donald Trump, his administration. These people are heartless to do something like that. No matter how much you are my enemy, I cannot do that.
And
no matter how much you're my enemy.
Even if you're going to lock them up, lock them up
together. And you send them back.
Yeah.
But to teach them a lesson, to break their spirit, you separate them. Imagine that. I thought it was 3,000.
And the problem is, Andre, we don't even know what's happening with those children when they separate them.
No, they don't know.
Because they never tell us.
Yeah, they don't know.
Are they eating?
By the way, they were abused, huh? They were
exactly.
abused. Quite a few were abused at the centers that they had the children.
Yes.
And now they don't know where some of them, where the children are. And let me talk about the parents. They have no idea. Imagine those parents now, folks, as we speak, how those parents are feeling to know my child is somewhere out there and I cannot reach them because I'm not allowed to go to the U.S. to even search for them. That's heartbreaking. You know what they did, one lady?
Heartbreak to death.
A lady and a guy, they arrested them at the border, and they put them in some facility, took the child away from them, and they were going to deport the mother and father. So the mother arrived at the airport. I don't know where they had the father. Maybe they put him some other place. But the mother was at the airport, and her question is, where is my child?
Right.
Where is my child?
Sending me back?
Yeah, if you send him back, where's my child? Child is nowhere to be found. So they sent her back. And her child is in the U.S.
Andre, I would be making a whole lot of noise.
Noise? You know what they'll do?
Kicking everything.
Yeah.
Well, they'll leave me or they'll put me on the plane, but I'll be making a whole lot of noise. You know when you make noise at the airport, it's not right. A whole lot of noise. Oh, yes.
So that happened back in the day. Back in the day there of slavery. You went to the people's country, you took, they say, between 12 and 15 million. Between 12 and 15 million people were captured in Africa. And don't forget the role of the Africans themselves in this whole thing as well, huh? Because they now were attacking their own people and so on. I guess either because it's one way of them now not getting, being enslaved by the conquerors at that time. So maybe that's why they were cooperating in making it easier, because I'm sure they knew exactly where the tribes were. So some African countries played their role, their part in this whole thing as well. We can't get away from that. That's another story. But between 12 and 15 million people were captured, okay, in Africa and taken and were forced to work as slaves. And hear that, it's also estimated that over 2 million died during that journey.
Oh, wow.
Over 2 million. So that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of the kind of compensation. And they don't want to hear that at all. Especially the United States, the kind of debt that they're in. I think they're about $30-something trillion in debt. Yeah, $30-something trillion. You think that's what they want to hear right now? You think England wants to hear about that kind of thing? To make reparations for past wrongs? So they're basically saying, nah, we don't have to pay. But what's your take on that?
Is that coming back on the news right now? Because, I mean, that's been there for a few years now. So I as you're saying that, is it returning? Is it back in the news?
Yesterday that happened.
Okay, because I missed it.
And it was Ghana that actually moved the resolution. Yes.
Okay, because it's been around for a few years, fighting for this.
Yes.
Yeah, and I agree.
Ghana proposed the resolution calling for the designation while also urging UN member states to consider apologizing for the slave trade and contributing to a reparations fund.
Okay.
That's what they're asking for. It didn't specify the amount of money. It didn't say.
Because it was in the news a lot in 2018, 2019.
Yes,
so,
and it gets quiet.
So,
it comes back up again.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a bobo. It's not curing. It's just there.
Yeah, because when you're not getting what you want, it dies for a minute, but then you have to start again because you probably would be the only one. But you want something out of it. You want to get it done, so you have to try again. And maybe that's what's happening, Andre, just like we're talking about, to keep the awareness for St. Lucia.
Boy, I tell you, we're living in a kind of world. And honestly, I mean, I think I'd like to be around to see how many more surprises we have, because the kind of things that are happening right now, I never thought I'd be living to see those things. I never thought that.
Andre, why you want to be around for the negatives, Andre?
Yeah,
There's a lot of pain, Andre.
No, I mean, so you know what's going on. You see how low man can sink, right? I mean, we've sunk to some depths already, and it seems as though there's no end to the depths that man can go when it comes to this human nature. The things that we can think of to come up and to do those kinds of things that are happening right now, you because you have superior aerial fire or whatever, you're just bombing people from the air, just bombing indiscriminately. I mean, only cowards do that kind of thing. You're a coward.
But Andre, you know that's how the yellow man is. You know that.
Well, Israel is right there with him. By the way, that's what they do too. Yeah, before they come and they have put ground forces, they bomb you, man. Imagine, you know what the Israelis were doing in Gaza? They would have their pilots break the sound barrier, and the children would report how scared they are when they hear that boom, that sound. You know, when you break the sound barrier, that alone is frightening. The kids, when they spoke to the children, they're saying how frightened they are when they heard that boom sound.
Andre, people are afraid of thunder and lightning. What do you think?
Exactly. And children,
more powerful.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're bombing them. Black is white. Black is white. Yeah. Yeah. As I said, I never thought I'd live to see that kind of thing. That would be happening.
That's why we say leave us in the Caribbean, Andre.
But listen, we're not the way things are going there.
Still,
the way things are going there, boy. Yeah. You heard the man says, because I can do it, you know. I can do anything I want to do.
But he's only there for 3 more years or 2+, Andre.
Let's see if you're right. Okay?
No, he's not going to be there for longer.
Alrighty.
No way.
So don't forget, folks, coming up at 11:30 this morning is going to be the healing process.
That's right.
With Dr./Counselor Phil and Claire Leon. That's coming up at 11:30 this morning right here on REV-UP St. Lucia. And don't forget, we're going to have a promo and everything done, folks. We have a new program called Dollars and Cents. SENSE. Yes, so that's going to be on a Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. That's going to be starting soon on REV-UP St. Lucia. All right, we have a banker, somebody who was involved in banking for over 40 years. He's going to be the presenter of the program, and that should be starting either early April or mid-April, somewhere around there.
Very nice.
Okay, covering all kinds of things dealing with money, right? Budgeting, saving, investing, you name it, right? Okay, good. So that's coming up in either early April or mid-April.
All right, so we're saying hi to our people and we have to say goodbye, Andre?
Yes, yes.
So we're not reading your comments today because we've got to get ready for as you heard, Dr. Phil and wife Clarissa. So first person here, we say good morning to Sharon Peter, Elita, Nisa, Dakota, Irene, Nadia, Joan, Shishab, Elvina. That's the names that I have today. Yes, we have. I guess we have more people watching than chiming in, Andre. So you see how fast that went, Andre?
Yes.
Yes, because the reading keeps us back, but we don't have much time today. And let's see if we had anyone from the WhatsApp. We can't read either. This person is from Kimroy. Yes, this is Kimroy. Good morning, Kimroy. And we're just going to run through. Antonia, good morning. And this is a 912 number. That's Rolly. Good morning to you. And I have to be checking the names. This is Ian. Yes, let's see. AG, good morning to you as well. Your comments can't be read today because of time, interest. Yeah, that's sorry about that. And Bernadette Samuel, good morning to you as well. Yes, Andre.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They probably know you don't read. See, I told you. They probably know you don't read it on a Thursday. So that's probably why a lot of people did not comment. But yeah, we decided that we would at least try to say hello to you for being here. We appreciate you. We appreciate you taking the time to come on Facebook. And of course, this listening to us online as well, watching us on DBS and also on YouTube. So good morning, and those of you listening to us on 95.9 as well. Good morning to you. Yeah, but stay tuned.
Yes.
Don't change the station. Stay tuned, people.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so the healing process is at 11:30 this morning. So what else do you have coming up on the show?
Well, after that,
The
of course,
REV-UP
we
Center?
have... Yes. The hit of the day follows that. We also have Tech Talk, right? Today, Tech Talk Thursdays, and Andre Entertainment Report. And we've got the news at 1 o'clock, yeah? And the latest weather report. Yes.
Okay, so Lady J is going to be with you until 3 this afternoon, as always.
Also, Andre, today's Thursday, so we do have Roger Constantine in as well at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
Yes,
right,
to talk
right.
fitness, health, yes, and the 24-hour gym.
You heard that, folks?
Yes.
To talk fitness and health. And of course, about his 24-hour gym as well, Roger Constantine. And don't forget, Zen will be here from 3 o'clock until 6, right, with Afternoon Overdrive. Alrighty? Okay, so let's just get into the icing on the cake.
Okay.
And today is just short and sweet.
Please.
It's a guy.
Because you rushed me, so I'm rushing you too.
So a guy who's celebrating his birthday. Okay, it's very short, so Lady J, listen carefully to hear what he's saying. He's celebrating his birthday. So let's hear what he has to say.
My birthday is recently coming.
Folks, I don't know if you picked that up. So let me play it one more time. There's a guy telling us about his birthday.
My birthday is recently coming.
Well, we got the message anyway.
All right.
So, Andre, was it last week or is it going to be next week?
Both. That's too sweet, man.
Too sweet. All right. Good one.
So, folks, you picked it up? You picked up what he said there? One more time. Just one more time. What do you say there?
My birthday is recently coming.
Oh my goodness, the tears. Laughter.
All right, folks.
Okay.
So thank you for listening. Thanks for viewing. Don't forget, coming up at 11:30, the healing process with Dr. Phil and Claire Leon. All right, that's 11:30 this morning. So, Lady J, thank you as always for indulging me.
I enjoyed this one. No.
This has been Harddrive with the compliments of Rambali's Funeral Parlor. So long.
At Randali's Funeral Parlor, we strive to bring you and your family the highest level of comfort, absolute satisfaction and peace of mind during your most sorrowful time of need.
Our professional standards and quality services are second to none. We offer ground burials, burials at sea, cremations, and embalming, fine locally made coffins, internationally made caskets, 24-hour emergency, shipping and receiving the deceased to and from overseas.
Ram Valley's signature funeral package includes a casket or coffin, collection, refrigeration and preparation of the body, hearse services, 100 funeral leaflets, 12 memorial buttons, 6 keyrings, 10 corsages, and 1 framed photo.
Ram Valley's Funeral Parlor, Calvary Road, Castries, and Lartuni, Viewfort. For more information, please call 758-452-2021 or 758-454-9239.
From coast to coast,
I would love to hear it.
we're revving up the airwaves
Are you sleeping?
on 95.9 FM, the Alpha of Radio.